He's brought them in to finish the joke.
Gone on with some really, really poor material that isn't at all funny.
I myself have got a bit of a receding hairline. That's going, and soon it'll all be gone, and I'm thrilled about that.
Do you think this would be funny, just as a practical joke, if you just wrote a suicide note and just blamed some random guy? Would you think that would be, you know what I mean? You know, like your barber or something like that, you know, it was all Ralph Abernathy's fault. Because you know the police would be compelled to go to Abernathy's barber shop and go, have you ever heard of a fella named Norm Macdonald? I go, yeah, he'd come in every couple of months for a trim. Oh, okay. Well, anyways, he took his life because of you. He wrote it here in this letter. Would you like to keep the... And then Ralph Abernathy would have to spend the rest of his life walking down.
Okay. Should we watch that first bit again? Let's take it back.
Do you think this would be funny, just as a practical joke?
So he said, do you think this would be funny? You can't ask for permission from the audience, can you? You've got to just have confidence in your material, deliver it. You've got to say, I think this is fun. No, don't actually say that. Don't say, I think this is funny. Just not in those words. You need to say it with your material. So say it in other words, basically.
What words?
Well, just the joke, I suppose.
Okay.
Say the joke and tell it. You know.
I'll tell you a little bit of advice I've got for you, Charlie. Honestly, be more succinct.
So that's what I would say. I would say have confidence in your material, and don't ask for permission. Don't ask, do you think this is funny? Tell the audience it's funny.
Yeah, you're a comedian. If it's not funny, you're going to know it's funny. You shouldn't be doing it up on the big stage.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm absolutely with you there, Charlie. Completely with you.
Have you got any thoughts on that first bit?
Well, my thought was the same as your thought. Absolutely. You know, he's great, but he shouldn't be asking that permission. He should be certain it's funny. And if he's certain it's not funny, do it anyway. But do it with confidence.
Yeah.
I've often done that and done well with it, honestly. I've gone on with some really, really poor material that isn't at all funny, but I've given it my trademark charisma and confidence, and off we go. You know, the audience love it.
If you just wrote a suicide note and just blamed some random guy, would you think that would be, you know what I mean? You know, like your barber or something like that, you know,
Now, he's picked barber there, hasn't he? The problem with that is that you're drawing attention to your hair. When you don't want to do that, you don't want people to be looking at your hair. Now, people are going to be looking at Norm's hair, and they're going to be thinking about that. They're going to be thinking, when was the last time he went to the barber? When did that happen? That's why a lot of comedians will have shaved heads. Because it's one less thing for the audience to look at. Yeah. I myself have got a bit of a receding hairline. That's going, and soon it'll all be gone, and I'm thrilled about that.
Well, it's not, and also you've been an agent in that, haven't you? You've used various products to encourage that,
to make it fall out. Yeah. So I'm thrilled with that, and I can't wait to have no hair personally, because it's going to be one less distraction for the audience, and I think Norm is making a rod for his own back here, isn't he? If he's bringing up the barber, then the audience are going to be thinking about that.
Would you make a rod for your own back? Or surely you could just purchase one? Because making one is a lot. I mean, I don't even know where you'd start to make a rod.
Yeah, okay. So, in a way, purchasing a rod for your own back is sort of more convenient, and therefore, but that goes against what the saying is about, doesn't it?
You'd be purchasing a rod for your own back.
So making a rod for your own back is probably more in keeping with the... I think that's what the saying means.
Thanks very much for that.
If you're sort of constructing a rod
also,
for your
it's
own
not...
back, then
you wouldn't ever construct a rod from a larger piece of timber.
Okay.
But construct make a rod out of several bits. I mean, a rod's just a rod, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Rod Stewart. He's making a Rod Stewart for his own back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't want to do that, would you? Imagine that droning on and on. I am sailing. Awful.
Is that Rod?
Yeah, that's Rod. Yeah. Could you not? No?
No.
That didn't work for you.
I'm not familiar with his oeuvre, to be honest.
Are you not? Okay. Okay. Well, we've had the guys at JC Lab have a little bit of a look into this because, of course, there is this. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, hi to JC Lab.
Yeah, because why did he choose barber? Why did he choose barber? You know, it could have been so much choice out there, and he chose barber. And so, first thing is, of course, that Norm's great-grandfather, we've found, the lads have found, and his great-grandfather before him. Well, it would be before him, wouldn't it?
Great. So the great-grandfather before his great-grandfather.
So the great-grandfather's great-grandfather.
The great-great-great-great-great-grandfather.
That's it. Yeah,
Okay.
You've got it, yeah.
Yep.
So both of those guys were barbers. Very, very, very happy stories Norm had about those in Chicago, the Big Apple. Mm-hmm. So that's good. Secondly, though, and you've referred to the haircut, interestingly.
Yep.
There may be a clue in there. I think Norm's been to the barbers recently. I think we can see that.
Right.
In the barbers, he's probably been thinking, oh, I need a bit of new material. I need a new joke. Mm-hmm. There he is in the barbers thinking about all of this. You think, oh, I could make it a barber. Because he's in the barbers. You know, it's what we do, isn't it? When we're out and about, trying to come up with new material, situational material, we could call it. And that's what he's done. However, if we have a look at Norm's haircut there, it's not perfect, is it? It's not bad, but there's quite a lot of untidiness around, more or less, where you were referring yourself to this front fringeal area. Yeah. There's quite a lot of untidiness there, so that may have led Norm, reasonably enough, to a certain amount of antagonism, a certain amount of anti-barber feeling or mood. Yeah. And he's rolled that in, so he's hacked off with a barber, with his own barber. Mm-hmm. He's come up with his joke and he's taken it out on the barber. He's trying to blame the barber for his own suicide. Okay. I don't think that's fair, myself.
Oh, you don't like that? I thought you were going to ramp up to saying that you liked that, but you think that's a wrong turn here.
Well, I think it's hard on barbers. Broaden it out. You know, comedy's a canvas, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's a wide canvas. It's like one of those massive ones you see in art galleries.
Yes.
There's so much you can do. So why not Macy's? Why not Macy's? Why not? I was taking a shirt back to Macy's because it was the wrong size and I didn't like the pattern, and they wouldn't give me a refund.
No, I blamed them in my suicide note.
Yes.
Yeah. And also Macy's, it's an organisation, isn't it? So there's a sort of shared accountability there. Rather than putting it all on one person.
Corporate manslaughter.
Exactly.
You know, it was all Ralph Abernathy's fault.
Right, Ralph Abernathy. Ralph Abernathy.
It's not easy to say. You've identified that already.
It's not easy to say. But it is easy to see what Norm's doing here. All right. Ralph Abernathy, of course, was a social activist. He was a leader of the civil rights movement in America. And what Norm is doing here is he's saying, wouldn't it be funny if I blamed Ralph Abernathy in the same way that Ralph Abernathy blamed the United States government for centuries of discrimination, racial segregation, disenfranchisement, and the deaths of millions of African Americans. So it's a very cutting piece of satire here, and you can hear the appreciation in the audience, and you can really see what he's doing there, and I think it's beautiful.
I think that is beautiful, and I'll hold my hands up and say that I missed that.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that huge satirical element to this, and of course, Ralph Abernathy and his his memory lives on, doesn't it?
It certainly does. It certainly does on Wikipedia.
He took his life because of you. He wrote it here in this letter. Would you like to keep the...
Would you like to keep the... If a word isn't essential in a joke, take it out.
Yep.
Yeah? Take that word out.
And that's what he's done here.
And that's exactly... So he says, would you like to keep the... we all know what the next word is anyway.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to say it. So he's saved himself some time. He's made himself look like a pro.
What was the next word?
Letter.
Letter. Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. Okay. Yes. I completely see what you're saying there. So he's allowing the audience also to finish the joke. And then that's sort of, it's like a choose your own adventure thing, isn't it? The audience will be finishing it off, and then that's sort of it's a relationship now, isn't it? Instead of him just talking at the audience, they're in on it. He's brought them in to finish the joke. And that's what comedy is about, really. You've got to bring the audience into the fold and allow them to finish it.
Like a flock, in a way, isn't it?
Beautiful.
Your flock.
Okay, any other thoughts?
Yeah, I think so.
Excellent. All right. Well, that was Norm Macdonald. If you've got a comedian that you would like us to review, then do comment down below. But for now, thanks for watching.
Thanks very much.